This is the Coach Maz Show, presented by Griffins baseball alum State Farm agent Alex Hetrick in Murraysville. Like a good neighbor, State Farm agent Alex Hetrick is there. Here's Dan Flickinger and the head coach of the Seton Hill Griffins, Marc Marizzaldi.
Welcome to the first edition of Griffins on Deck here on the Westmoreland Sports Network, and unbelievably, the first edition of the Coach Maz Show here on March 23rd. Unbelievable. The first time we get to talk with Maz on the air. I know we've talked a few times off the air, Coach, but before we get into our talk, we want to give a big shout out to State Farm agent Alex Hetrick, former Griff, once again sponsoring the Coach Maz Show prior to every Griffins broadcast here on WSN. For a free quote, give Alex a call, 724-575-7392. We really appreciate all of his support. And again, you know, we were supposed to have our season preview show like we've done since we started covering you guys, and some things came up on my end. I'll take the knock for that. Unfortunately, we couldn't get it done. And then we were supposed to do the Findlay series. You moved the Findlay series. We were supposed to do DUville, and then the Seton Hill women decided to have an amazing season and play in the NCAA tournament. So we were up there covering them. We finally get a chance to talk here and catch you guys here at the third and fourth game of your series against IUP. So, Maz, how are you?
Pretty good, Dan. Pretty good. It's good to see you finally. You're right. It's been a weird year in terms of like our schedule. First time in probably 15 years we didn't go to Florida. I know you're disappointed about that.
Yeah, my wife's not, but I am, yeah.
Yeah, the parents were too. A lot of our parents, that's their vacation to get away and watch some baseball. So, fortunately, we were able to play some good games at some awesome ballparks in Aiken and Tusculum to open up the season. But it's been a little bit of an untraditional schedule to this point. But now it's right back in the thick of PSAC play, and it's good to be talking to you.
Yeah, looking good, man. And the Griffs looking good right now as well. What a great start to PSAC play with a sweep of IUP, and that's underselling it a bit. 19-1 in game one, 16-4 in game two. Second most runs scored in a PSAC doubleheader in Seton Hill program history. I guess it's an understatement to say couldn't have asked for a better start to conference play, Maz.
Yeah, it was an offensive explosion. I was pleasantly surprised, I guess, excited, happy for our guys. They were obviously pretty juiced up to play up at IUP, going back to the same place where we shed a lot of tears, to be honest with you, and had a devastating ending to a really magical run last year. Our guys kind of faced it head on and went up there on a mission to kind of send a message and make a statement. We certainly did. But none of that carries over to today, and we got to kind of reset, and we got an opportunity to not just win the series, but possibly sweep it. And I know our guys are hungry to do that.
What was the biggest key offensively to allow you guys to score, 35 runs against an IUP team that, again, I mean, they brought back a lot of guys from last year. You mentioned, the chip on your shoulder, I'm sure you came in with, but ended your season. So that, preseason favorite. I know they've been struggling, but 35 runs. What was the key offensively, do you think?
Well, I thought it was our preparation, to be honest with you. We knew we were going to face Shields in game one, who really, he kind of dominated us the last year or even two and had a great season last year on their World Series run. But we knew a lot about him. Vinny Ralso really did a fantastic job preparing our hitters on what they were going to see. Now, obviously, they unloaded the bullpen, and we saw a ton of arms that we weren't really prepared for, but we hammered those guys as well. So it was just a consistent, 9-10 guys all on the same page, all executing the same plan. We were just very selective aggressive is what I would call it. We laid off some pretty good off-speed stuff from Shields and even their second starter, Shed. But man, we punished them when they came in the zone. We were just really, really tough to face, right? We laid off good pitchers' pitches and just hammered any mistakes that we saw.
And did you feel like coming into that game, I know you touched on it, but you guys did have some extra juice considering who you were playing and what happened, last year?
Yeah, and I think as a head coach, you'd like to see that extra motivation, but we also need to be a little bit careful that we don't get really up for one opponent
Yeah.
and treat, every PSAC weekend differently. We've kind of had that mantra of like we're always playing at DMU, it doesn't matter university, but I think this weekend it mattered a little bit. When they end your season and you're so close to a World Series, of course there's going to be that desire for revenge. But I don't think we're going to actually get that revenge until the series is over and we've come away with a victory.
Yeah, when you score that many runs in the first game of a series, first game of a doubleheader, you had 19. I mean, do you address that between games like, hey, this was one game out of four. We can't get complacent here. We got to go out and win, the next three. Was that a conversation you had? Obviously, it didn't you didn't get complacent. You scored 16 in the second game, but was that something that, maybe was addressed in between games?
Yeah, it was. And there's two things with that. Number one, I think we have a really mature team. And you might look and say, wow, we got sophomores playing and freshmen and not that many seniors, but they're very mature. Like they handle the ups and downs of the season so well. They're able to digest losses the right way. They're able to digest huge wins the same way. And we kind of recognize that the reason we scored all those runs is because we executed a plan. We prepared the right way and executed a plan, and the game's going to reward us if we continue to do that. So they know nothing carries over, but they know how they got there, and I think they're going to stick to that plan.
Well, a lot of outstanding individual performances, but I guess when a guy hits four bombs, we should probably talk about him first. Jacob Haynes, a sophomore, someone that I had a chance to watch a little bit in high school, but unfortunately not enough because he basically missed his entire junior and senior year because of injury. Last year we saw some glimpses, maybe a little bit inconsistency, but man, I mean, he is off to a tremendous start. Certainly highlighted by hitting four home runs in a doubleheader, which is something pretty darn rare. What is he doing at the plate right now, Maz? It really impresses you.
Well, he's actually matured quite a bit. He got thrown into the fire as a freshman, caught a little bit, had some DH at bats. And he did okay as a freshman. He competed, had some big hits, but you could see there was still large gaps for him to go from being an okay college hitter to being like a legit middle of the order threat, which is what he is now. He's really matured in terms of his pitch selection, understanding what pitches he handles well. Last year there was a lot of chase, and I think some of our opponents knew how to get him out, and they're not doing that the same way. They're trying to get him out the same way he did last year, and he's really kind of stayed one step ahead of the competition. So just good, really good plate discipline from Jake, and when he's getting his pitch, he's not missing it. Obviously, he's a strong dude. So the power numbers don't necessarily surprise us, but I mean, he's hitting over 450. He's getting on base at a ridiculous clip. Like he's starting to evolve into a complete hitter now. It's exciting to watch.
Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance again to have our season preview show. I really wanted to talk about that left side of the infield that you lost last year, Owen Sable and Jack Oberdorf. So hard to replace those guys, but Owen Henney has played tremendous this year at shortstop as just a sophomore. In that doubleheader, he had 6 hits and 2 RBIs, and I'm knocking on wood right now. No errors this year. What has he done so well again that has kind of caught your attention and just the way that not only he has hit the ball but certainly played defense after a massive loss in Owen Sable?
He has like some sort of magnet inside his glove. Every time the baseball's hit, it just ends up in his glove. And man, he's pretty special. He's so smooth out there. He's extremely athletic. But I mean, the kid's never played shortstop at the college level until this year, and we threw him in there. And there's so many nuances of playing shortstop. It's
Yeah.
not just, oh, he's a good fielder, he has a good arm. It's about reading hops and knowing the speed of the play. And it's amazing to see how he has those little intangibles along with that athletic ability. And he's such an incredible team guy, so cerebral. He, for only being a sophomore, he communicates to everybody else on the field so well. He's definitely, I know it's a cliche, but he's one of those guys that makes everyone else around him better. You see as a team, we're fielding, exceptionally well, and he's a big part of that. But I think his his elite defensive skills have really rubbed off on his teammates. It's made everyone better.
Well, and you have to feel pretty blessed to replace an Owen Sable with someone like Owen Henny. Now, obviously, you guys get credit for that. I mean, you recruited him and you've developed Owen certainly, but I'm sure going into the, I mean, you lose someone as talented defensively as Sable, and to see what Henny's doing, that has to feel pretty darn good.
Yeah, I mean, Sable was what, 225 games he played at shortstop or
Yeah.
something. Now, I think what's really helped Owen Henny is the fact that he got to play next to Owen Sable
Yeah.
for, a half or 2/3 of the season. And I think Owen Sable passed along so much knowledge and um, experience to Owen Henny and Owen Yoder and Owen Mandler, all these younger guys. So Owen Sable's gone, him and Jack are gone, but you can see like these sophomores now, the way they play the game, you can see little parts of their game that's been passed down from Sable and Overdorf. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, and that's how you build, a great program like you have. Another guy that really stood out in that doubleheader was Jack Whalen. 6 hits, scored 5 runs, and drove in 5. I know that he maybe has gotten off to a little bit of a slow start, starting to hit the ball a little bit better. What do you kind of see from Jumbo at the plate coming in now to this doubleheader here today?
Just being a little bit more aggressive, and I think his aggressiveness right now that's leading to production is coming from his confidence. He's one of those guys like the better he plays, the better he plays. It just his confidence builds. You saw that as a freshman. He got thrown into the fire and had some success early and just ran with it. He just looks like he's having a ton of fun right now, too. I think last year, maybe a little bit of a sophomore slump. He was putting so much pressure on himself. PSAC freshman of the year, some high expectations. And I think he's kind of ignoring a lot of that stuff right now. He's not, trying to live up to anyone else's expectations. He's kind of, back to his roots of being our rally starter, our energy guy. He's playing super aggressive. He's not missing his pitch either. He's such a dynamic guy. He used to be like, Jack, walks and steals bases and hits singles, and now you're seeing doubles and triples, and he's driving in runs. So when he goes, we tend to go along with him.
When you look at the defense and pitching this year, and I know it's still early in the season, but it's been absolutely incredible despite the fact that you lost perhaps the best left side of the infield in the country, definitely the region. You lost 3 really good starting pitchers. And right now, if the season ended today, and I know it's still a long way to go, you'd have the best fielding percentage in your history, I believe. And you're at 986 right now. And at one point, not long ago, you led the country in ERA. And again, I keep saying this. I know it's still early, but what does that say about, the guys that were just ready to step in and go and do so well despite what you lost?
I believe in all these kids on our team, and I have had the opportunity to sit right next to them and watch how they work their asses off for the last 6 months. But I too am a little bit surprised at the level that they've established and that they're playing at because of what you mentioned, Dan. Aiden Layton, Brandon Berger, Dini Vecchiola, Mike Marinchak, like
Yeah, Marinchak too, sure.
we're 300 innings, and Coach Martin and I, to be honest with you, like we were a little bit scared. Like, what are we going to do to replace all these guys? Obviously, having John McCullough back and Ian Corn
Sure.
healthy has been a great foundation, but there's other guys that have kind of filled some really awesome roles and stepped up. And yeah, I mean, we're playing at such an elite level right now that I guess maybe you didn't anticipate, when guys like Oberdorf and Sable and all those pitchers move on. But I think it's a little bit of tradition. It's a little bit of expectations being passed down. I think you're seeing the success of our pitching staff and some of our position players right now because of the influence of the guys that they were around last year that graduated, the guys that kind of set the standard. So,
Well, let's talk about today's doubleheader. You go with Ian Corn in game 1, and you just mentioned Ian. Wow, what a tremendous start to his season. 11 strikeouts, pitcher of the week last time he threw. And then Julian Minaya, who some people may not be aware of yet, maybe haven't, checked out the Griffs yet before, today's broadcast, a graduate student transfer from Glenville State, but he has some outings already this year. So what do you kind of expect from those two, and what do they have to do well today?
Well, we can't take for granted what John McCullough and Ian Korn do, but we kind of just expect it at this point. That's not fair to those guys, but gosh, every time we start those guys, they go out and give us, 5 scoreless or 6 innings, 1 run. They've been so dominant, throwing tons of strikes. Ian he's gotten better every single week. I don't know how much better he can get after last week, right? Pitcher of the week, 11 punch outs, but he's kind of set his bar pretty high. He's going to compete his tail off with maybe the best stuff on the team. So we love when he's on the mound. He gives us a great chance. And Julian's another guy who actually has gotten better each outing as well. He threw a ton of innings at Glenville State. And it's just nice to have a guy come in who has, so much experience, especially based on what we lost. We didn't really have any starting pitching coming back besides McCullough. So he gives us a little bit of veteran experience. But he's also a guy that we've been able to kind of surround with, Evan Rossi and Zach Herb and Christian Zilli. And we've kind of done the same thing with Matt Blanchard. I'm sure you saw he's been a starter for us, but we've been using him as an opener and then surrounding him with a guy like Luke Deschennes, who's kind of coming into his own. So it's been awesome to see all of these guys in the pitching staff assume different roles. And again, I think they're all just feeding off each other right now.
Again, Maz, this is so strange. I mean, we could continue talking probably for a long time, but considering we have to kind of narrow it down a little bit since this is our pregame interview, we'll chat again prior to the Clarion doubleheader. Go get 2 today. So happy to be back covering the Griffs today. Really excited to see you guys play.
Yeah, it's great to have you and Westmoreland back, Dan. And we're going to go for a little series win and sweep here today. Thanks.
Sounds good, buddy. That is the Coach Maz Show. You can watch it prior to first pitch. We go on 20 to 25 minutes prior to first pitch. You can watch the Coach Maz Show presented by State Farm agent Alex Hetrick in Delmont. Give him a call, 724-575-7392. Coming back, we'll have first pitch between the Griffs and the Crimson Hawks right here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.